Last month, the Supreme Court ruling against biological men playing in women's sports. This, of course, had the woke left mob up in arms, and someone who found herself at the center of that woke cancel culture controversy, which is still somehow a thing, was WNBA superstar and Indiana Fever guard Sophie Cunningham. Last week, Cunningham sparking backlash when stating in an ESPN interview that she wants to protect young girls in a locker room or young girls in sports who shouldn't have to go against biological men. And to get the left even more riled up here, Cunningham doubling down on her recent comments.
I said what I said. I think it's kind of common sense. And I think I'll always believe in that. I think it's really important to protect children, and that's little girls who are also involved in that category. And so I stand on what I said, and I always believe that.
Jason, Terry, I was shocked by your WNBA knowledge in the break, so I'm not going to start with you just yet. I should start with one of the ladies here. Elizabeth, there's a special place in hell for women that don't help other women, right?
I think that Sophie is showing extreme bravery here. I think the majority of female athletes probably agree with her, but they're too scared to speak out because they don't want to be kicked off their team, lose brand deals, face various consequences. Yet she is speaking out for common sense, what we all know, which is that men should not play in women's sports. It is not fair. It is dangerous. It puts women in uncomfortable situations where they're changing in a locker room with a male present. And the fact that she is willing to go against all of the voices in the WNBA and say this is really impressive.
And Terry, she's one of the rising stars in the WNBA, at least one of the players I can name, which says something. I mean, there aren't many. Why is the WNBA throwing their support behind her?
Look, I think that there are some vestiges of the Democratic and progressive movement in the WNBA still, but it's okay. We got Caitlin Clark, we got Sophie Cunningham. Republicans are now going to start watching WNBA. You're going to see a revolution there, and they're going to have to start getting more conservative because they can't turn down the revenue.
And the fact we're even talking about this speaks to that within itself. In fact, White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt spoke on this situation earlier today.
It's completely ludicrous that anyone could support that. It's even more ludicrous that you do have Sophia Cunningham, a female athlete herself, very accomplished in her own right, coming forth and speaking that truth that men shouldn't play in women's sports. We want to protect women and girls, and the backlash she is receiving from Democrats and left-wing figures across the country is astonishing. They are clearly very out of touch with the American public on this issue, which again is an 80-20 issue. It's common sense.
So this, of course, has become a political issue, Jason. Sports sometimes is, even though perhaps it shouldn't be. But is that largely because Democrats have made this a political issue?
Well, first of all, we're talking about a hypothetical. I haven't heard of any person who was assigned male at birth that's going to play in the WNBA or even at a major college. So I'm not even sure why we're even having this discussion. The other thing is I will
assigned
reject.
Male at birth?
I will reject.
I will. Were born a boy?
Let me just finish.
You can't throw a term like that.
I will reject a couple of things. Number one, the fact that Sophie Cunningham is so accomplished or that she's a WNBA superstar. She averages 9 points a game.
That's really good for the WNBA.
That's
really good for WNBA.
No, I don't think so. She averages 9 points a game. She averages about the same amount of personal fouls as she does rebounds. So, again,
she's aggressive.
I think she should work on her game, and she's right to be scared of people who are assigned male at birth because she can't even deal with people who are assigned female at birth.
Boys.
She can't even play against them.
From now on, Jason,
so
you're
she should get better at basketball.
That's who you are to me. You're assigned male at birth.
I think she should get better at basketball
before she starts
talking about these political issues.
You should use the term man. Dude, I just had my 8th kid. I can assure you, they don't assign them male at birth. They are male. They are female. They act that way.
It's really funny because I remember a time when Republicans were like, why is everybody focused on the semantics? Everything is political correctness. And now you're upset that I'm using a term?
Because you're trying to change sex.
Political correctness.
You can use a term that you want to use. I didn't tell you not to use biological male. I just said I used a different term.
You might not know what you're doing, but
you guys has nothing to do with biology, which is that there are two genders, male and female, and no biological male should be playing in any women's sports. That is it. I cannot believe we are still having this argument. It is a losing argument for the left, and quite frankly, it is completely sick.
Information. Truth. Is freedom. Is Newsmax. It's real news for real people.